Think about Jacob. He had to go into exile, had to leave the Holy Land and go up into Syria because of problems, of course, with his brother Esau. But as he departed, as he went, he had a special theophany, in a way, or a special vision from God. He didn't see God himself, but he saw angels, spirit beings, messengers of God, divine messengers. Let's look at Genesis 28 and verse 10. Now Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went toward Haran. So he came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head and lay down in that place to sleep. I guess he used a stone as a pillow. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth. Sulam, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to heaven. And there the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. Wow, here's a ladder, a vision he has now. He has a vision, a dream. It's a dream here, but a very vivid dream. And in the dream, there's a ladder going up to heaven, and its top reached to heaven, and angels are ascending and descending on it. Now, Jews have a very interesting interpretation of this. Shouldn't it say the angels are descending and ascending, coming down from heaven to earth and going back up again? But, when you go to the Holy Land, from all around the world, when you go to the Holy Land, you go up to the Holy Land. When a Jew immigrates to Israel, it's called Aliyah, going up. So the concept is that even these angels, when they go to the Holy Land, are going up. That's an interesting way to look at it. But I would explain it this way. Why does it say the angels are ascending and descending? I think it shows you that God was accompanying Jacob on his way. This was God's way of saying to Jacob, I'm with you. As you go into exile, my angels are with you. So they're already with you. So they're ascending from you and then descending, because my angels have been with you already, accompanying you on this journey. I think that's a way to look at it. Anyway, let's keep going. And behold, the Eternal stood above it. And so in fact, he does have a theophany. I am the eternal God of Abraham. So he's actually seeing a vision of God at the top of that ladder. I am the eternal God of Abraham, Yahweh, God of Abraham, Adonai. I am the Lord God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie, I will give to you and your descendants. Also your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread abroad to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. Those of you who know the Chabad movement, this verse has become a theme song of theirs. Yama v'aked matzah, ufaratzta, yama v'aked matzafona v'negba. Those of you who are know about the Chabad movement. And you shall spread abroad to the west and to the east, to the north and the south. And in you and in your seed all the families of the earth shall be blessed, which also ultimately is a messianic prophecy, because Jesus Christ is a descendant of Jacob, as you know, from a human point of view. Behold, I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. For I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. So here's a promise God makes to Jacob. So Jacob makes a promise to God. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely the Eternal is in this place, and I did not know it. So he saw God, but in a dream. So it was not quite the same as later on when he wrestled with God, but this is where he sees God and angels in a dream, and he sees this ladder. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. So that was his reaction to that. That became a special place, and so he called it Bethel, house of God. Then Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. So he consecrated it as a monument to that spot where he had the dream. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city had been Luz previously. So it had an earlier name, but he changed it to Bethel. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, if God will be with me and keep me in this way that I am going, and give me bread to eat and clothing to put on, so that I come back to my father's house in peace. Then the Eternal, then Yahweh shall be my God, Adonai shall be my God, and this stone which I have set as a pillar shall be God's house. And of all that you give me, I will surely give a tithe to you. So he promised to pay tithes, as his grandfather Abraham is shown to do in Genesis 14. So there's a promise God makes to Jacob, and Jacob makes a promise to God. And the symbol of this relationship between Jacob and God is that ladder going from the Holy Land to heaven, that ladder, Sulam. Let's take a look at Sulam. Samach, Lamed, Mem. Samach is 60. Lamed is 30. Mem is 40. That ladder equaled 130 in Gematria. 130. Now let's go forward. And now we have the descendants of Jacob. And God is fulfilling the promises he made to Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And so the children of Jacob are also the children of Israel. And let's go to Exodus 19. Exodus, the 19th chapter. As they come to Mount Sinai, Har Sinai, they come to Mount Sinai. And they're about to become a nation committed to keeping God's way of life, a theocracy. Exodus 19. Here they are at Mount Sinai. And let's go to verse 3 of Exodus 19. And Moses went up to God, and the Eternal called to him from the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Okay, so now Jacob's descendants are there. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. So we have now the beginnings of the Mosaic covenant, the Sinaitic covenant between God and Israel, the old covenant. Verse 6. Now, verse 5. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be Mamlechet Kohanim v'Goy Kadosh, and you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. And so the Decalogue was given, and the basic laws were given, the Book of the Covenant, as it's called. And then in Exodus 24, Moses presents now this covenant to the descendants of Jacob. So Moses came and told the people all the words of the Eternal and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which the Lord has said we will do. So they committed themselves. God made promises to them, they made promises to God, and a formal covenant was ratified in Exodus 24. And so Mount Sinai represents, in a sense, a bridge between the people of Israel, the people of Jacob, and the Eternal, Yahweh. And angels are part of the Mount Sinai experience. If you read descriptions of the giving of the law on Mount Sinai. But here we have God on the mountain. We have Moses then hearing from God and then talking to the people, and the people answering. God making commitments to the people making commitments to God. So in a sense, the bridge between heaven and earth, between Israel and God, is Mount Sinai. Let's take a look at Sinai. Sinai. Samach is 60. Yud is 10. Nun is 50. Another Yud is 10. So we have 60 and 70, right? Nun is 50, Yud 10, that's 70, and Samach is 60. Once again, 130. So the ladder, Jacob's ladder, equals 130, and Sinai, the name of that mountain, equals 130. And both are symbolic, in a sense, bridges between God and Israel. And I think so it's interesting that the Gematria is equal of Sinai and Sulam. So keep watching for more Gematria goodies.